Hello and welcome to my channel. I just wanted to do a quick WIP chat. I try to make these, post these weekly if I can. I forgot last week. I totally forgot that I was going to do a Wednesday WIPs and chat, so I decided to go ahead and do one for today to show you the project I'm currently working on. It's a diamond art project utilizing the Make Market canvas that came with just drills and a blank canvas. You can create your own design. And so I decided to give this a start. And see how this goes, because I do have a couple more that I got on clearance last summer. This one was the classic colors or bright rainbow colors, and then the other one is a pastel, and I think the other one is a neutral. So I wanted to make a design, and I thought it'd be a good whip and chat for this week. I'm going to try to make sure these are short. I'm trying to keep them around 15 to 20 minutes at the most for my whip and chats, because I'm still developing uh, ideas, still developing projects I'm working on. And today I'm using a new microphone that I bought. So we'll see if the sound works okay, and we'll see how this goes. This is the grid pattern of the canvas. And right now this is the plastic covering on top. And I was just going to kind of show what I'm working on right now. I had this design idea based on this. This is one of my beading projects that I've done before. It's from a loom, and I wanted to kind of have that same kind of design. So I used this kind of the bottom, and I'm doing this right now, and then I'm going to have some additional designs on it. So this is where I'm at right now. I did complete the border on top and bottom, so I could figure out where my center was. I had already marked off the center points. I went through and actually, if you take a look real quick, at the bottom, I went through and I counted the number of squares across. I did it for the top and from the bottom and then the side, so I can kind of estimate where the center is. Now this was not a perfectly square grid pattern. It's longer on top. It's more of a rectangle. So from what I counted, there's 86 squares going across, and then there's 103 going up. So then I had to kind of figure out where my centers were, and then so I drew a line where those are at, and so I can figure out how many um, how many grids going across here and there, and what did I want to do with the center. So I decided, since it is a rainbow pattern, I'm going to go in a kind of a gradient all the way to the center. And the idea is to me, once I get to the center, probably be maybe about this big. I'll probably put another pattern in the center, but I wanted to make sure these areas on the side, the field on the side, was not blank. So I went through and I was coming up with some design patterns. And since I can't exactly draw on this grid because it is sticky. And this canvas, what it is, you take the canvas, you put it down on whatever surface, because it's sticky on one side, and then this has the plastic on top and it's sticky on top for placing the drills. So I placed it on this piece of poster board I had, because I wasn't sure what I wanted it to do with this actual design. I didn't want to attach it to a box or a poster board or a foam board or anything like that. So I decided to go ahead and do a poster board, since this is my first time using this. So like I said, I had to figure out where my center was, figure out how the placement was, and then I started my project. I actually did the borders first, top and bottom. That way I can see where my center is here, and then figure out how many colors I can go across. Decided to do 2 rows of each color going across this. And so I'm going to go inward, and these are the next set of colors as I go. So we're just going to keep going until we get to the center. And I think I decided to go with a blue, then a lighter blue, and then black. Black will be the center. Let me quickly show this to you. These are the Make Market, what do you call it? The Make Market little like boats. They're not boats. They're just the drill holders for whenever you're placing them. I did a video before on my other channel about this. I may go ahead and repost it, because it was kind of like a review of how these worked. Because when I first read the reviews on it, someone was having a problem opening and closing these little lids, and I realized that there was a tiny little notch on these. So if you can see that little this little tiny notch, there's like a little tiny notch there. You can kind of see it. That is why it seemed like it was locked and you couldn't just slide it off. You actually had to kind of grab it on the edge and pull it up a little bit. And unlock it that way. So that I think that's the reason why they were having problem opening and closing it. Because when I first got it, I was having the same problem. But the trays, that's what I was trying to figure out what they're called. They're trays, but the trays, I do like these trays because they have, let me show you an empty one. So these are the trays itself that I bought, and they're from Hobby, not Hobby, they're from Michaels, and they're a make market brand. And here's the lid, but it has these little trays in it that has grid patterns. And so when you shake it in, it's like 2 or 3. It goes all the way up, but I did like these. Let's see if I can get this one out. I like these because, let's see, well, if I can get that out. They're kind of sticky on these grid things. If you tilt it on its side, sometimes it will slide out, but some of them are, I think it's just the way it's designed. Let's see, shake it out. There we go. There we go. But on this one, so it has a small grid pattern on this side, and then it has a larger grid pattern on the other side. And then the tray itself has another grid pattern on the inside of it. So depending on how you want to place your drills, and I do like these. I like them because the first set of drill trays that I bought were actually from Hobby Lobby. And they were great because it has like 6 in a case. The only thing was there was no individual covers on them. It was one giant case over empty trays. The only thing I had a problem with those was it was a lot of static cling on those. So far, every time I've used a Michaels product, especially with the drills and the trays, I have not had a problem with static on these. So I do like their trays. And this was a handy little one. Let me show you real quick. This one, I initially bought the set of 10, but then I went back and I bought this tray system. So it has, I think it's 12 altogether, 2, 4, 6. So there's 12 trays altogether, and it came with the case. And the case is actually gray. I didn't like the gray, so I ended up covering it with my paper and, you know, painting the little edges and stuff to give it a different look. And so these all came in with it. So I did like that, and I think that was a better buy than the individual set of 10. So just for a few dollars more, I got the holder, and then, you know, like four more additional ones. So that's 12. So 10. Yeah. Actually, I think the first one was like maybe 6 to 8. So it was like double the amount of trays. So I ended up getting that instead. But that is the trays that I use. I've been using for my diamond painting because I'm still fairly new to diamond painting, and I didn't want to invest a whole lot of money into a bunch of things just yet, unless I decide if I want to really continue on with this. And so this is one of the projects that I'm doing. It was my wheel spin. I don't know if you've seen the wheel spin. It's in some of my shorts or my videos before, where every week I do a wheel spin of 3, do 3 wheel spins. So I'll pick 3 projects, and that's my next 3 projects to work on. That's how I wanted to approach this. Instead of me trying to decide, because it was really hard for me to decide which projects I wanted to do. I have so many different canvases and projects, and they're all so great. And I want to work on them all the time, but I have to limit how much I'm working on different things. So I have other projects I work on because, you know, I do beadwork, I do artwork, I do other things, and I want to start sewing again. So I'm trying to allocate all that to different time slots during the week. So I only dedicate so much time to this, these kind of projects like this, with the kits and stuff. And I do, like I said, I do like doing the diamond painting stuff. It's a really nice way to spend time, especially if I'm like listening to an audiobook, maybe watching a show, watching a documentary, watching a movie, watching a series, whatever it is. A good way to fill that time and work on stuff too, because I tend to work on these kind of things and watch or listen to music or audiobooks or those kind of things. But this is the current project, and what I was trying to decide today was what I wanted to do on these spaces. Instead of just making it all filled up one color, I wanted to add something else to it. Then I realized, well, how do I draw my design? And I forgot this plastic sheet. I can set it down. I can see where I want to place my drills. So these are the designs I'm working on right now. I wanted these kind of represent kind of like feathers. So I did the first pattern, and then, you know, I just used my handy ruler and line it up across there, count the number over, and then make the marks on the other side. And then that's what I did for the top 2. And now I've got to do another one over here. And as I was looking at it, I realized I wanted to kind of fill in some of the space too, because I'm not sure what the background color is going to be on these yet. I'm thinking either white or black, because that's the most drills that I have. But I wanted to sprinkle some of my AB drills I bought from Michaels as well in with that. So we're trying to decide that. But I liked the thought of having these little patterns on the side. So I'm going to do the same here and the same down through here. And all I'm doing right now, and I just took a regular Sharpie and just go through it and count, move up one, then count over however many spaces. So on these, we start with the drill and we count over 4. So we're here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we fill in the spots. So those where the next drills would get placed. So that's what I'm going to do, go all the way around and fill in that pattern, make an additional pattern up here, and then figure out how many spaces I have left in here to draw a center pattern. And so then this will be my design for my last wheel spin project from this last pick. These take me a little while. The last one was I believe I did it was a undersea scene, and it has a lot of confetti, and that was one of my other projects, and that took a long time for me to get that done. It was like over a month to finish that one, working on it little by little because it was a lot of confetti in my first really big confetti project. So these last 3 projects were really simple. It was a frame and then a small acrylic painting and then this one. So this is the one I waited till last because I was still trying to decide my design. And like I said, I got inspired by my own beaded project that I did on the loom. So I decided to kind of recreate that pattern here because I did like doing the little, looks like a checkerboard pattern here and kind of sort of similar to checkerboard, but more flowers here. But I like my center design with that look right there. So I decided to incorporate that into this project. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm just going to continue working on this. And I don't have much else to talk about today except today it is like 12:44 a.m. here on July 1st, so it's almost 1 a.m. I just woke up a few hours ago. We went to a movie today, me and my son. It's a Tuesday. They had like a Super Saver Tuesday thing at the movie theater, so it took some off on either your drinks and popcorn or your movie ticket, those kind of things. So since I already had a reward for it, also gave me some additional discounts. So we decided to go see this movie, and it was a scary movie. And we very rarely ever see scary movies, and we decided to go this one because he had seen in the reviews, he thought it would be a good movie, and I'm like, okay. So I went through and read the reviews too because I have vertigo, and I've had vertigo for a very long time. And one of the things my vertigo actually affected was motion sickness. So sometimes I would get motion sickness in the car. I would get motion sickness watching movies or anything where if people were running and there's a lot of jerky movements in it, I would get motion sickness from watching movies. So there's been a lot of movies I've had to avoid watching just because of that. And I could never read in the car. That would just make me feel so sick. Sometimes I would end up, throwing up or something like that because it was just horrible. We didn't find out till much later, until I was like maybe my early 40s, that it was actually an inner ear problem that I had. Was diagnosed with BPPV. Um, so it is actually something with my ear that was causing the vertigo because I also had an issue with heights. I couldn't be up high or like out of high places because then I would just get so dizzy. And so it was actually a motion, like a motion disorder. And I found out later it was actually having something to do with my ears. And so when I watch movies, I have to be careful on I read the reviews, read people's, opinions about the movie, whether it was like bad or good. And I didn't find anything bad about this movie. And it seemed like a good scary movie to watch. And I'm always about watching scary movies because I do like those sometimes, not gore or anything like that, but just scare. And something that make you kind of go on your edge kind of thing. And so we decided to go see that today. And unfortunately, I read reviews. No one said anything about having a problem with motion, and this movie did have some motion. It was that my son calls them what do you call them? Found footage movies, and I guess that's what this was, and I did not know that. And so we went in and went to watch this movie, and the first 5 minutes it had that motion, like someone's looking through a camera and taping a video taping, and they're running, and it was like a closed in sound. And oh my gosh, I started getting so nauseous. And then I'm like, okay, I'm okay, I can do this, and because after we started making adjustments to my ears for the vertigo, I didn't have motion sickness as much anymore, and they figured that's what was causing it. So I haven't had a real problem with it. And I've watched movies that had movement in it, and I had no problems. But today, I made it through that first scene, and then it was the second scene of the same running with the camera thing. And I got so nauseous and dizzy, and I started feeling hot. And I'm like, okay, we need to go because I'm not going to be able to make it through the rest of this movie. So we ended up leaving the movie. We made it about an hour into the movie after we got home because it took me a while. I had to sit in the lobby. We had to sit on this little bench. He got me cold water. I had to sit there for a while and cool myself down because I just got really hot from that whole feeling of being dizzy and sick, and, and it was just terrible. And I'm like apologizing to him. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to remove me. I said, you can go back in if you want to. I'll just sit out here in the lobby. And he's like, no, no. He's like, it's okay. We'll go ahead and go. And he was worried about me. So we went ahead, and after like 10, 15 minutes in the lobby, I finally started feeling better enough so we could leave. And so I got home and I figured, well, it was a matinee movie. So I hadn't eaten breakfast. All I had was coffee. And then I was eating, popcorn and having like a soda. And so I think it was just a combination of too much sugar and stuff early in the morning, and then this motion in the movie is what made me sick. And so I'm like, okay. And I went back and I looked at those reviews again. I still didn't see where anybody talked about the motion in the movie. And I'm just like, okay, I'll just have to make sure next time to see what other like maybe actual official movie reviews are saying. And but I really did want to see it. It looks like a really interesting concept. It was called the Back Rooms, and so I really did want to see it because I don't get too, you know, like some people get like really sick at scary movies, gory movies. That doesn't bother me. That was just the motion of the movie and them running with the camera and stuff. That is what this premise of the movie was interesting. And I thought it'd be kind of a good scary movie, but it was that motion that just that was just terrible. So yeah, I will have to wait till it comes on streaming. And when I watch them on streaming, like smaller, on my computer screen or something like that, usually it doesn't bother me. But it was the big movie theater and just all the sound and the darkness and everything. So yeah, that made me sick. So I came home, I ate something, I took an ibuprofen because I was having a massive headache by then, drank a bunch of water, and then I went and laid down and took a nap. I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down for a little bit. I should start feeling better soon, and we can go do whatever we need to do. And I ended up sleeping for 5 hours. And I woke up and it was like 8 o'clock. So I've only been up for like maybe 4 or 5 hours now. And so my son went on to bed. I stayed up and I've been up working on this, watching YouTube and doing all these other things. And I remembered, I need to do my Wednesday WIP Chat so I can post that for today and show you what I'm working on right now. But yeah, that was the only thing that happened today. And I still had a slight headache when I woke up. I think I actually may have had a migraine. That's what that headache was because I'm not supposed to eat a lot of like chocolate because this was the candy that I had from today. I'm not supposed to eat a lot of chocolate, those things, because I guess it's a food. My migraines are usually caused by food sometimes. That may have been it because I realized I have not eaten chocolate probably several months now. And so that probably is just way too much for me. So yeah, it was it was something else today. But yeah, I'm feeling much better. My headache's gone. I ate something else again a little while ago, drinking my water, drinking some green tea, and just, trying to make everything calm and not too overwhelming. But yeah, that was my day yesterday, and I'm finally getting over it today. And I felt well enough to come back and start working on my project again and watch some YouTube and just kind of keep it a calm, peaceful environment here at like almost 1 in the morning. But yeah, that was my day yesterday, and this is my project I'm working on. And it looks like I'm getting down to the last like 10, 15 seconds of this, and I set my timer, and it's going to go off here in a moment. But yeah, that's all I had for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this and you got something out of it. And I guess I will. Oh, there goes my alarm. Let me stop that. Let me go ahead and get this ended. Let me close this out real quick. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'm trying out the new microphone I bought because I realized some of my videos you can't hear my voice. It keeps going in and out. It's kind of muffled. So I bought a microphone set to see and try this out and see how this goes. But that is all I have today for this WIP Chat. If you like what you see, give me a like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for stopping by. And you have a great week. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.